YouTube always has a stroke right when I start. It'll give
Have
me
you
a
started
message.
yet?
It'll give me a message that it's broken, and then it will actually be working. But okay, we'll start it here. Hello, people. It's Tait Lawrence here from Nanjing Marketing Group. We're going to be talking about the China marketing news this week. We'll be talking about COVID-19 vaccines, Alibaba's Double 11 festival coming up, a BBC and Bilibili content deal, some travel restrictions for Americans potentially, and a bunch of other things. So let's just get her started right here. We're going to talk about this COVID vaccine first.
Mm-hmm.
This is some news that we saw from the city of Shaoxing in China.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
Lawrence, you read this one already, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So what it's saying here is that they have this vaccine available, and they say it's in the title. They say it's 200 yuan for a shot for the vaccine, but it's a little bit more expensive than that actually, because you read into it. Turns out you got to get 2 shots. That's 400, and then they charge you administrative fee 28 yuan per shot. So 456 in total is what people will be paying for it. And
yes,
it's going to be rolling out. According to this first article that I saw, they are rolling it out in terms of priority. So the first priority will be like frontline workers, people that are nurses in hospitals or working in cleaning the hospitals or something like that. And then the second priority will be other city workers or other people that are working in public places. And the third are just the general public.
Yes,
So that's what it says here. And it says that people will be able to apply via the a certain Shaoxing official municipal WeChat account.
Mm-hmm.
You go follow the account, then you go through the process, fill it out, and you can apply for a COVID-19 vaccine, apparently. Now, also, I saw this other article about it, and this other article is actually contradicting it a bit, because it's saying that the vaccines are not available to the general public. So I'm not really sure what this means overall. I mean, maybe the Shaoxing vaccine is not going to be able to is not going to be available to everybody, but just going to be available to those first tier priority or second tier priority people.
Mm-hmm. So in my point of view, actually, recently we've been reading this news from Wednesday. To be honest, the vaccine is out already in the province of Zhejiang, not only the city of Shaoxing. So some of my friends in Hangzhou, and also a city in Zhejiang, she successfully accepted the vaccine because she was a frontliner. She is a teacher, so she has to take vaccine to make sure she is not gonna get affected by the COVID-19. And the article you just shared, I think it is right. It is not for public, but for now, it is very hard for general public to get affected within China for the COVID-19. Like, as we talked before, it is even now barely you see everyone wearing masks nowadays on the street. So only people who are working on the front lines, like who've been working in the hospitals, immigrations, they are the one who will need to take the vaccine because they are in close contact with the foreigners and the people who just come from outside of the China.
Right. Sure. But do you want the vaccine? Like if they gave you one of these earlier ones that hasn't gone through as strict of a trial, would you want it?
To be honest, I don't. Like, I'm pretty sure that the vaccine should be safe, but I don't want to be
Yeah.
on trial,
Yeah. Okay.
For example, if after about 6 months or 9 months, like everyone's taking vaccines, then maybe I'll just go and take it. But in other way, if like everyone else is taking vaccine, like I don't think it's necessary for me to take vaccine as they will not
Yeah.
just transfer the COVID-19 to me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, me personally, I wouldn't be too worried because I think I would just eat COVID-19s for breakfast. But I would like my dad to get an earlier one sooner, because I think that he would be more at risk. So that'd be cool if he could get
Yes,
it.
particularly I think for the elder and the young children, they're the one who will probably be in the first hand to take the vaccine, as it would be just very good for them.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is going to be one of the hottest news items, I think, especially in a couple weeks from now. Now, Alibaba's Double 11 Festival is coming out. That's the Singles Days Festival, or Shuangshi, and that is the huge, enormous, crazy shopping festival in China, unlike anything else that is seen in the world. There is something here in Canada and in USA that they compare it to, and it's called Black Friday. But this festival is like Black Friday online and on steroids, basically. So this article here is from Alizilla.com. It's an Alibaba website, and what they say is here: more than 250,000 brands will participate, and the number of new products debuting on Alibaba's B2C platform Tmall alone will exceed 2 million. That's twice the number of new products from last year. Yes. Cool. Okay. So more stuff online. And next, unlike in previous years, the sales extravaganza will span 2 sales periods from November 1st to 3rd and November 11th, and feature deals and discounts in non-traditional categories such as apartments, automobiles, home decoration plans, and other services. Wow. Okay. So that's pretty different, actually. They're actually going to have 2 sales from November, one on November 1st to 3rd and one on November 11th. That's kind of weird. I guess they just need to spread it out a little bit because of how much of a problem this causes for shipping, or do you know anything else about it?
I think this year, every year, Alibaba is making Double 11 Festival different. So they are not actually following the same routine every year. As I used to stay in Sydney, like every Black Friday actually is the same. Like the retailers giving discounts, they're running into the store, you get the first, then you pay them. But for the Double 11, they make it different. Every year they have something different. So as you just said, this year they have more products. They have a high purchase numbers. So they're even selling apartment and furniture stuff, and that's something I haven't seen in the past.
Yeah.
So that's something I would say that Alibaba is making different in a different stage. So they will try to reduce the pressure on the Double 11 Festival. Sometimes people are just buying because there are a discount. It's not because they need it; it's because they want. So this year, I think Alibaba is just trying to probably split the pressure on the Double 11 Festival on the day to different stages, like 1st of November, then to 3rd of November, then on the Double 11 date, the certain dates, always it goes high, but it would be good if they can split the pressure onto different times.
Okay, well, it's cool that they're always innovating and they're doing new things. That feels a lot like China to me overall. And they're already the biggest shopping festival in the world by far, and they're going to try to expand it and grow it bigger and bigger. So they're coming up with new ideas. I think when I see there's 2 different dates, it makes me feel a little bit less excited about it. It feels more exciting if there's one big bang where everybody is waiting on November 11th. They're waiting at midnight, and then they got to go and make their purchases right away with the items that are in their cart. That's really exciting. Whereas if there's 2 dates, it's kind of spread out.
Actually, to be honest, I would rather to go with 2 different dates. Like Double 11, you have to you have to compete with each other, and there's just not enough quantity of the stuff. So for me, if the price could really go down for 10 or 20%, even before Double 11, I would accept it. I would just buy it straight away rather than wait to Double 11, because you have to wait till midnight and you have to compete with each other to complete the order. And I don't like to stay very late and stay up late, but I would say they're just trying to do something different. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else that might be different this year. A couple more points from this article. They say that over the past few months, Chinese power spenders have turned to online platforms for their overseas purchases due to ongoing travel restrictions. Because people can't just travel from China to other countries to make purchases right now. I mean, maybe they can travel to some countries, but overall, the global travel industry is totally or mostly shut down. And
Yes.
a lot of Chinese people would travel abroad to make the purchases because, well, they're already traveling abroad. They like to travel abroad, and then they would get it for a cheaper price, you know. And that year, this won't happen. So it's going to be extra big for the things that Taobao and Tmall import from abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Next, this is talking about their local presence. And they say that in addition to Tmall and Tmall Global, Alipay is stepping up its supports to boost sales for small and micro businesses in China. The digital lifestyle platform is offering vouchers and special promotions to consumers in over 100 Chinese cities. By searching for specific keywords on the Alipay app, consumers can redeem local discounts from coffee houses to neighborhood grocery stores. So this one, that's talking about Alipay, which people in China use to pay for things, and they use it to pay online, but they use it to pay offline too at the coffee houses and restaurants and groceries that they go to. So this year, Alipay is going to be doing a push too, just trying to get more people to use it and give them some discounts, I guess.
Actually, I think I'm not really sure for this one. I think I heard one of the news says that Alipay is actually cooperating with the local government, like the city government, to sending out the vouchers to stimulate the economy in general. And actually, it is very easy to search out for those vouchers, like $5, $10, and they don't have a limit. You can just use them in any occasions. You go to a restaurant, you buy groceries.
So
even
this
just buy a bottle of a drink. Yeah, it is very
I see.
easy.
So this is related with the economic stimulus activities that have been going on from the government, is it?
Yes. I think they have like the budget every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because I saw this news on Alipay. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there is a time like 8 a.m., then 12 p.m. in the noon, then 3 p.m. afternoon, 8 night. You can just wait to the moment and just like get the voucher, and you can go out and spend them. You don't have. I think they have like a 14 or 20 days limit. You have to spend them before it expires.
Yeah. Okay, and about live streaming, last point here from this article. They say that live streaming is becoming the most popular brand engagement channel for both Chinese and international brands. During the official Double 11 sales period, more than 400 company executives and 300 celebrities will step in front of the camera to interact with their customers and fans. Now, this is totally in line with the trends that we know, like live streaming is just getting bigger and bigger. I think we'll talk a bit more about that coming up here too.
Yeah.
So let's just move on to the next one.
Sure.
Because this is related to live streaming, right? This is the one you were going to tell me about, some live streamers sold a whole bunch of stuff really fast.
Yes. So for this article, there are actually two very hot KOLs. I will not call them KOLs. They should be the host. So this first gentleman is called Li Jiaqi, and the lady is called Weya. And yesterday, two of them are live streaming on Tmall, and for one night, the total goods they sell is worth for 7 billion Chinese yuan. That's incredible for a single night. For
7 billion Chinese yuan in a night?
Yuan. Yeah, that is correct.
Are you sure?
7 billion.
Is it?
Yes,
Are you
it's
sure?
7 billion Chinese yuan. Yes, I'm pretty sure. 7 billion Chinese yuan. Think about that. It's just incredible. Two of them. Just two of them. So the live streaming actually really started from the midnight. And after midnight, they have a lot of sales from different products. Makeups, lipsticks, furnitures, everything you can think of, even snacks, small stuff. And everyone, like even in our company, I heard like me and others just buying stuff from two of them, you know?
Okay.
It's incredible.
Did you buy something?
So, no, I didn't. I was went to sleep. It's too late for me.
Okay. I'm looking at this article. I thought you were mixing up the numbers, but it actually does say 7 billion. Chinese
7
yuan here.
billion.
So that's
Yes.
$1 billion in a couple of
Yes.
live streams here. These are two
Yeah.
different live streams going on, right? But at the
Yes.
same time?
Yeah, they're going on at the same time, and I think for both of them, the highest number, the viewer numbers are reaching to one point. I think it's 150 millions. Yes, it's 150 millions. So there is 150 million views for
Yeah.
people are watching their shows. Like that's just like, oh, there's so many people are watching them. Like we
Yeah.
just can't wait to like Double 11. We said
Just
that as you just
what,
said
what
that. Oh, yeah.
Lawrence, what's so special about this guy? This guy, he's like, you're as cool as this guy. He's getting
The
100
gentleman, right?
150 million views doing this.
Yes.
You're sitting here with me getting 150 views.
He is very famous celebrity in China, micro celebrity, and he was a guy doing sales in a makeup store, but he
Yeah.
is very unique. So when he doing an intro for example, he was famous because of doing an introduction for lipstick, and he was like, oh my God, this is so nice, and they have never heard any man who are actually selling females product. So for
Okay.
example, all the makeup, lipstick, eyeliners, I belong to the females, and he was just too unique. So he stood up with the live streaming. So more and more people are watching his show because the unique style he bring up on the live
Okay.
streaming platform.
Okay.
And besides all other character he had, I think that's a key point. It's because live streaming is going very hard in China, and he's too unique.
Okay. Well, there's a couple guys on YouTube that are like that too. Guys that promote makeup.
I think there's just a copycat from the gentleman, as I saw, because
Yeah.
the gentleman start from I think 2017, and last year I think he made more than 150 million Chinese yuan for his profit only, and he's been working like for 350 days a year. He never took a rest.
Yeah. I guess you don't really feel demotivated or don't feel like you need to take a rest if you're making that much
That
money,
much
maybe.
money.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to say anything else
Simple.
about this, or you want to move on to the next one?
I want to say is to the audience is Double 11, so watch out your pocket and spend money wisely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next one here. Moving it into something negative. Because, you know, me and our newsletter, we jump through positive and negative things all the time, which gets us flamed for being too positive or too negative. Anyways, now China has threatened to detain Americans. So if you're an American living in China, you might want to watch out for this, because you know that they've detained a couple Canadians because the Canadian government arrested a Chinese person in China, and China's like, okay, we'll arrest some Canadians. And now they're using that threat for Americans here too. This article here from New York Times says that Chinese officials have told the Trump administration that security officers in China might detain American citizens if the Justice Department proceeds with prosecutions of arrested scholars who are members of the Chinese military. Also, the State Department has reiterated travel warnings as a result. Yeah, so that's basically it. I mean, let's not dig too much into the politics here because they're way above our head. But just the point is that if something's going on with politics between China and your country, and you know, maybe your country has some problem with some Chinese people, maybe those Chinese people go to jail or they get arrested or something, China might decide to just arrest you or detain you in China, and we might not know where you are. You got to watch out for that. Not that I'm doing anything about it. I mean, like, I go to China anyways, and people we do business with go to China anyways. It's a very small risk, but it's a risk.
Don't worry, Tate. You have us to cover your back, so don't worry. You're free to come to China at any time.
Okay. Yeah.
but for this news, I think the tension between two countries are going very badly. I mean, it's towards to very bad directions. Like you say the compete between two countries and all those political stuff. I'm not really in a good position to judge. But all I can say is like the two countries really competing with each other. We're like on the edge of something, If something is coming up, just feel, we are in a
Maybe.
special moment of
Yeah.
time.
It seems dicey. It's a dicey moment. We don't know what's going to happen next. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, back to something positive, I think. This is one that you're going to tell me about, right, Lawrence?
Yes, BBC and Bilibili. I think your screen just got a delay for a
wait.
second.
No, this one's not BBC Bilibili. This one is something about Weibo.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I just saw that. Yes. Okay, so for this one, is related to Weibo. I think it is worth to mention because we heard some of people say that Weibo is no longer very hot in China. It's not a very good platform anymore. But this article is a counter argument for people who ever bring that Weibo is no longer good anymore. So this article is sharing on this year for people who have fans more than 20,000 and over 100,000. The people of this group are more than a million. So there's more than a million people who have the fans between 20,000 to 100,000. So that means that more people actually are watching on.
Okay, hold on. Let's be clear about this. I'm checking this article too. So it's saying that there are a million different a million Weibo users that are at this high level, and they define this high level as having over 20,000. Over 20,000 fans, or over 100,000 views in a month.
No. So the article is saying, for whoever has more. No, we shouldn't say it this way. For people who have more than 20,000 fans and monthly view over 100,000.
Yeah.
For these main KOLs, the people who have that, who achieve that, they have more than a million people like that.
Yeah. Right.
So they either have 20,000 fans or their monthly view are over 100,000. I think this is easier for the readers to understand.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. We're getting a bit choppy here in our explanation, but the concept for our video podcast here on YouTube and for the podcasting platforms that we're pushing it out to is basically that this is the meeting that we have about the newsletter. Working out the details here, people. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So compared to the last year, there is a 20% of increase on that. And for one thing I can say for sure is Weibo is a still good platform if you are focused on content creation. So this article also says for the fans who have more than 500,000, all the monthly view are more than 10 million. The people for that segment group is more than 80,000. That increased by 30% compared to last year. So as we can see that as as more people are coming to Weibo, your content quality defines who you are. If you have very good quality of content, more people will just follow you and listen to you. So you become a real good KOLs. So that's the first part of the article. And then the second part of the article says about the online shopping. So actually Weibo launches a Weibo store, and it has connect with all majority of online selling platform like Tmall, Jingdong, and Pinduoduo, and even have some small SWS retailers. And that's just something I haven't really noticed before. Like I know that Weibo is a good platform. You can watch all the news, follow for the celebrities. You can watch some good content, but I don't know they are really focused on sales recently.
Okay. So what's the overall impact here? You're just saying that the Weibo continues to grow as a platform and it continues to be a good platform to do marketing, right?
Yes. So I think Weibo now is a very good platform for marketing and advertising. We know that it is good for advertising, but it is always good for marketing. As we just said, you need to have the good quality content to send out. And Weibo now is really taking care of the people, whoever sending out the quality content. Because
Yeah.
in the past, we all know people are just sending random stuff, like, oh, I feel bad today, it's good weather. But now, if you're sending something very good, I think they just will like that kind of the post. They will just try to promote your content.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting easier to sending out.
Okay.
Okay.
Gonna move on to the next one here.
Yes.
So this one's about BBC and Bilibili.
Mm-hmm.
So this article here from radeyechina.com says that Chinese video platform Bilibili is doubling down on its partnership with the BBC. Bilibili will be the exclusive Chinese distributor for landmark BBC titles like Green Planet and The Mating Game, and new scripted fantasy series The Watch. So that's the first step of this partnership, is that BBC content is going to be distributed exclusively via Bilibili. And we know that Bilibili is expanding in the types of content that they have on the site. But, you know, the reason that we use Bilibili for marketing, or that we really like it, actually isn't because of BBC or things like this. It's because Bilibili has a ton of user-generated content on it, you know?
Yes.
And the other Chinese platforms, there are a whole bunch of Chinese video platforms. The other ones tend to have even more of this, like more movies or more professional content on them, and they are kind of defined by that. And then when you look at any of those platforms in China, they're not as clearly defined as Netflix and YouTube. You know, people in Canada or USA, when they think of video platforms, they think of Netflix and YouTube first. Netflix is the professional content one, and YouTube is the user-generated content one. But in China, those lines are blurred, and a lot of the other ones have a lot of professional content. So Bilibili's getting it too. That's cool. I don't know if this will affect marketing or not, but in general, the kinds of content that we're posting on video platforms in China, we have a lot of hope in Bilibili for the long term. We think that Bilibili will be the one where we'll continue to build the best following and get a lot of views for the kind of content that we publish.
Yes. I think one thing that Tate might not know is Bilibili for this year, 2020, is really, really getting better, I would say, because I'm a heavy user of Bilibili since 2014.
Oh, okay.
Even back before I started to work. And I see that more people are coming to Bilibili. And this year, Bilibili is not only generating video itself, but it just involved with entertainment. It has hosted several shows, and now it's signed a contract with other companies like a BBC. I mean, this is a good sign that the website, the Bilibili, is getting on track. It's really getting onto something. I still like Bilibili. Yeah, I really like the platform.
Yeah, we should probably do this exact same video podcast on Bilibili, but do it in Chinese and see if people watch it. I think that's a funny idea, because we do it on here, and like, you speak better English than my Chinese, and nobody will be impressed with your English. Like nobody will care. But if I go on Bilibili and I speak Chinese, and my Chinese pronunciation is kind of weird, it's like I have this weird Nanjing Canadian accent, and then people will be like, "Wow, your Chinese is so good."
Okay, we can try maybe next week to have a try on Bilibili, see how we go with that ideas. I think that's something we can try. Why not?
Yeah. Okay, and then also from this article, one more sentence it says is, as well as taking British stories to China, this deal will also take some of China's rich cultural stories to the rest of the world. But it doesn't go into detail. It doesn't say really what types of Chinese stories will be taken to the rest of the world. So I don't know what that means. Does Bilibili have the rights to some Chinese content, and BBC is going to be showing it? I guess so.
I think one of the things that BBC very famous of is their documentary, right? So if BBC is taking some of the Chinese documentary and sending out, on their platforms, not only on Bilibili, but like YouTube or on their official website. I think that's something people probably would like to say. And at least for today, when they sending out the news, it says BBC signed a contract with the Bilibili, people were just curious, oh, who is the
Yeah.
Bilibili? And why they sign a contract with the BBC? Like,
Right.
I think that's something probably different for them.
All right. Next one here. So this is one new WeChat feature here. And last week I mentioned a whole bunch of new features for WeChat video, but I didn't mention this one. And what it is here is that the article creators will be able to post an area within their articles where they can ask a question or ask for engagement. They can ask people to post comments, basically. So you can get comments within the article, like not at the end of the article, but within the article at the place that you want. So as an example here on this Greer Girls School WeChat account, there's a question embedded within it, which asks like, what is something that you can't do in USA? Because this is an account for young women that want to go study in a private girls' school in USA. So to ask them that, and that can generate some more engagement. And then below there's one comment that's just kind of vaguely saying that Americans really appreciate their privacy, so you have to allow them to have their privacy, I guess. But this adds we're experimenting with this already, and it could be a useful feature to have.
I would say I like the feature. For all the time, like people to know like what else we have to care of beside the article itself. For myself, I always check the comments within the article, but I don't really, go to the bottom of the page because that just takes me time. So if there's one chapter or one point I'm very interested, like for this article, they were talking about something you can't do in United States. And then I said, oh, this is very interesting. Then I saw the comment right here. What else you can't do? And some people would just say, oh, you can't do like, you can't say some words, or they really take care of the privacy. And that's something I would say, oh, that's something else. Oh, I like the comment.
Yeah.
So, I like the feature. I think this new feature would be quite important for some accounts to getting more involvement with the followers.
Yep, it gives more room for interaction. So I think we'll be testing this out a lot. We'll see how it goes. I feel like the WeChat, the way that they organize their articles and some of these features, it's almost like they're learning from other types of media. Like they're learning from live broadcasts, for example, like live streams.
It's like
they're thinking, well, articles are static, but how can we make it a little more live, a little more interactive? And they add this, and they've added some other features in that way too.
I think this is the innovation from WeChat. Like they are not just sticking with like the article just should be the article. You just simply post them. No, they're thinking of something different. They think, oh, we should add a little feature to make it more vibe, to make people interact.
Yep. Well, you're touching on that trend again, which is innovation in China. And there's a lot of innovation in China, and even these huge companies like Tencent and Alibaba that are already absolutely the top of their game, they're still innovating to try to get even higher. And when I look through the news each week and I'm trying to share different things with our readers, I can't really grab all the examples of innovation that I see. Or even if in my daily life, when I'm in Nanjing, my daily life, I'd see a lot of examples of innovation, and I wouldn't be able to gather all that up and give our listeners or our readers a feel for how much innovation is going on in China. But wish I could. I guess I just need to travel to China and then they can feel it.
I think there are more innovation than I used to know. Even the topic we bring up this week, like for Alibaba Double 11 Festival, they've been innovating for the past 7 or 8 years. And now you can even say that how online business could impact on offline business. You could always say now on the retail store, they bring up as Double 11 Festival, they have a discount. So that's something I would say the innovation bring up to the everyone. So I like the innovate from like both Tencent and the WeChat, but I think it is always worth to try something different. Like people just forget to notice what innovation they could do for the nearby life or to their life.
Sure, it's always worth it to try it, but we're not seeing that kind of innovation in all aspects of life in Canada or USA.
Yes.
Like we're seeing there are some companies that are very innovative. I mean, there is Tesla and SpaceX, basically anything by Elon Musk that is very innovative. And I'm not just saying him, but there are lots of different companies that you could grab and you could say they're very innovative. But overall, you're not you don't see as much innovation in those places as you do in China in your daily life. In China, you just see so many different things happening all the time, and it's got a very positive energy to it, I think.
I would say for that topic, it's because we have more population. So more population actually means that there are more different interests. So like for United States, we all know that it only have like 300 million people, but in China you have 1.4 billion people. So that's something different. Like everyone have their own demands, and they have to do something to grab the money from their pocket.
Okay, that could be it.
Okay.
That could be it. But
Yeah.
I think it's more about the social trends and such that are going on. You're being polite.
Okay.
Let's move on to this next one here. Okay.
This is a very
So
interesting.
this is a funny one. This is not important news. This is not important news for your marketing in China. Just a funny thing from what's on Weibo.com.
Mhm.
The thing happened where I'll try to explain the story in my own words here, as
Okay.
I read it earlier, but I'll explain it in my own words. And it is that this young man named Liu, he's a busy guy, and he's working in the city. He wants to find a girlfriend, so he ended up getting a blind date. All right.
Mhm.
Now he shows up for this blind date and meets a young woman, and but the strange thing is that she bought 23 of her friends and relatives for the date.
Mhm. Yeah.
Imagine being that guy. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
But okay, so they all came and they had supper at the restaurant.
Mhm.
So he stayed for this whole thing, and
Yes,
then
they
the bill came, and it was 20,000 yuan for the bill. 20,000 yuan. Okay, so that's a lot of money. The first thing that's weird is that there's so many people. The second thing that's weird is that it's almost 1,000 yuan per person at this restaurant.
Uh-huh.
That,
Yes.
this
That's
is a
quite
ridiculous.
expensive.
Yeah, this is a really, really expensive restaurant. So anyways, this guy Leo, he's like, okay, I'm not paying that. And and he gets out of there. And then she contacts him and she tries to get him to pay for some of it. And he's like, well, okay, I'll pay for 2 of the tables. So he pays for about 4,000 yuan of it, but he leaves the rest to her. It's like 16,000 yuan or something. And so she would pay for that, which I think is totally fair because
You brought up a lot of friends.
yeah, she wasn't supposed to bring everybody to the restaurant. And then the article goes on to explain that she was trying to get some money from her friends and relatives, and some of them were like, "Oh, I don't want to pay that. That's too much. I barely drank anything. I didn't eat that much to pay 1,000 yuan for this meal."
Mm-hmm.
It's just a weird story overall. So some people on Weibo, most of them are supporting this Liu guy, and a lot of them think this is kind of crazy. Some of them are suspicious that maybe this is not a real thing after all. Sometimes in China on social media, these kind of things are the front end of a marketing campaign where they make a big splash about some deal, some crazy weird thing, but then it gets twisted and ends up being something for some kind of product, you know?
I think this is something you barely see. Like in the rest of the world besides China. Like it's just unimaginable. But I would say this is a fact that something could happen in China. Like people went out for a blind date, and normally the girls just bring up many friends or their relatives. Generally, you only bring like your parents, like both of the man and the lady bring up the parents and they meet each other, and then the parents just
on
an
a blind
excuse and
on a blind date, on a first date.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is not a 100% blind date. They have someone to introduce the girl to the boys.
Right.
So they went on a date. Normally you have the middle person. Then you have both of the parents who talk with each other. Then leave the rest to the man and the lady. But it's weird that the lady just bring like 23 relatives, like went out for dinner. Like you never do that. Like how can you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, that's why this is news in China too. Like when people from abroad see this news, they might read too much into Chinese culture and they might think like, oh, this is somehow a very Chinese thing or something. But this is not a Chinese thing. This is a weird thing. This is just I think
even for
it's
Chinese.
It's just as weird as if that happened in Canada and then 23 people came to a blind date. It's as weird as that is. Anyways, it's just a kind of funny story. Something that happens in China.
Imagine 23 people.
What would you do?
I would probably only pay the bill on my table. Then I would not pay anything for the rest of the others, because I didn't. I went on a date with a girl, but not with your relatives. Like this is probably the first date we have ever had. Then you just bring like 23 your relatives. If we have like a second date, you're gonna bring like all your classmates, school friends, like 200 people. I can't.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, if I was single in China and that happened to me, I would have been like, I'm getting out of here right away. I just bounce out of there. When I first came to China, if that happened to me, I would have been like, oh man, this is some weird Chinese culture that I got into, and then I would just go with it and end up getting scammed. But all right, okay, that's it for today. If you're listening to this on a podcasting platform, if you're watching it on YouTube, just send us a message and let us know what you think. I want to know what you want to hear more about, what you want to hear about less about, if you have a problem with my hair or anything like that. Besides that, if you want to give it a like, hit the subscribe, join us anytime when we do it live as well. I would be appreciative of that too. Thanks, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, see you next week. Bye-bye.